booktube, it's Sib and the books, and this is my July TBR. Beginning of the year I'd made my first booktube video and I talked about my unread books, my TBR, my plans for reading and also plans for my future videos. And then I kind of failed all of my plans. I struggled with my reading in the beginning of the year. That's a bit better now. But I also was spending too much time thinking about what to read and when and when to film and what to film. So I've decided to change my approach. I've seen a few people doing their TBR in a sort of randomized way with TBR jars and things like that, where you randomly draw a book from a pile or a list or a jar. And I thought I'd give this a try as well. Now here's my own take on this. I'm not sure, somebody else probably already did it or something similar like it. I'm not claiming that this is my idea. That's just the way I'm doing it. First off, I have a huge Excel spreadsheet with all of my books in, everything that I own, that I've ever read since adulthood roughly. My wish list and all of the stats and details behind this. And so from that spreadsheet I noted all of the books that I own physically and some where I have digital copies that I really want to read sooner than later. And I wrote them down on a piece of paper. Standalones are in one piece of paper and a whole series is on one piece of paper, so that I don't draw a book 3 in a series that I haven't even started yet. The papers are color coded by how much I think I will like the book. I had some paper lying around here that were in a color red, yellow, green, blue and black. So I used these colors, and in that order I noted the books on red paper if I think it's basically going to be a 5-star prediction. Yellow is I think I will like it. Green is could go either way. Blue is not so sure, and black is I'll probably DNF it. Now that's whatever I felt whenever I took the notes, whenever I wrote it on the piece of paper. I've already noticed that this can change in the meantime, especially when we're down a couple of months if I keep up with this. So I think this will change, but we'll see how well this works out. Maybe it's kind of interesting to track and see what I predicted and then how it turned out to be. So if you're wondering why I even own books that I have categorized as black and blue, and the reason for that is that the vast majority of those are books that I bought 15 or 20 years ago, before my big reading slump of 15 years almost. And so my tastes have changed probably. That's at least what I think. I have a lot of thrillers that are in that category that I think that I'm not really gravitating towards, let's put it this way. Could be easily be that once I read it I'll actually like it, and then maybe I'll have to reevaluate the whole genre, but we'll see. Now, apart from color coding, I also further categorized the books, and that is mainly so that I won't draw a lot of big series, let's say. So I don't want to be stuck with, I don't know, 5 series that each have 20 books in them, and I'm not reading anything else in the next 2 years. So I played around with different ideas and I came up with 8 or 9 different categories. And the first category is actually one that I don't draw. That's my only exception to the drawing random sort of rule, and that is in the category of paranormal romance and urban fantasy. The reason for that is because I have a lot of unfinished series in this category, and one of the goals of all of this, what I'm doing here, is to reduce the number of active series that I have. Now, currently, there are 107 open series. That does not mean that I actually want to continue all of this. That's purely coming from the Excel sheet. Wherever I have read at least one book in a series and have not finished that's on this list. I'm sure a lot of them I don't actually want to finish. I just didn't use to DNF series in the past. I just didn't continue, but now I don't have this data in my file. So as we're going through with this TBR thing, we will find series that I'm actually not interested in continuing. So back to this first category, here's where I manually choose which books I want to read next. And I do this based on my priorities here. Priority number 1 is only series that I have already started. From this list, I first choose the ones where I can get a series completed the fastest, so the fewest books that are left to be read, if that makes sense. And then the third priority here are series where I already own a lot of books, so that I don't have to actually buy extra in order to finish, or not a lot of books at least, in order to finish a series. My first choice here is this here, Mary Janice Davidson. This is a German book. Most of the books that I bought 15 years ago are German, because my English was not good enough back then to read books in English. So this is the Mermaid trilogy of hers. I have read books 1 and 2. They are over here somewhere. I think I remember enough of the first 2 books that I can just read this. Maybe I'll skim over books 1 and 2, or read the last 10 pages each or whatever, and then I'll give this a try. If I'm really completely lost, then maybe I'll have to reread the books, but they are similar in size, so not huge, so that shouldn't take me too much time to get through this. And then once I have this, that's already a series finish. In case anyone is interested, the English book titles here are for book 1, Sleeping with the Fishes, book 2, Swimming Without a Net, book 3, this one is Fish Out of Water. Now this might also be a good place to explain how I deal with series in this challenge. Basically, whenever I draw or choose a series for the next month's TBR, I will read 1 book per month. So the next that is in line, in this case here it's book 3, but let's say I'm starting a new series with 3 books, then book 1 would be read in July, book 2 in August, and book 3 in September, and then for October TBR I will redraw. This is also what I am doing currently with the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and it's working really, really well. I love the series. I want to continue reading while I'm still sort of in the story, but I also want variety. So I like the 1 book per month part thing, but of course, if there is a book I'm reading, I loved it, and there's a big cliffhanger, maybe I'll decide I'll change it around a little bit and read book 2 already, or whatever. Like, these are my rules, right? I can change them anytime. Next, we start with the actual drawing categories. And the first one that's easiest to explain is the standalone category. I put these papers in these Ziploc bags, low tech. It's working for now, and so that's what I'm drawing from each month. Now for this month, I already did the drawing and I messed up my recording, so you'll have to believe me that I actually did draw what I'm gonna show you now for the categories, but I'll still explain the categories as I'm showing you what I drew. So the standalone for July is this here. It's called Das 13. Dorf, the German title. It is translated from French, there is no English translation. And this was on a black paper, so I thought I would probably maybe DNF it. It's a historical thriller, which I really thought I would not like, but in the meantime, I read it, the whole thing. I actually did like it. I'll talk more about it in the wrap-up video. Next category is probably the biggest one, and this is ongoing series. So a series that is still actively being written by the author. Doesn't matter if I already started it or not, but it's one that I am trying to keep up with. That's kind of funny because yeah, I got a lot of these. But that's the idea, is ideally I want to keep up with these. So again, I'm not drawing from this one here because I am in the middle of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I started in January, loved the series. I skipped, I think, February or March, but otherwise I kept up with reading one book per month. So I am now, let's see, for June, I am now on, I read book 5. Now July is book 6, then August book 7, and then I'll have to wait for the next one to come up. And so then I will redraw. The next 6 categories are kind of split into 3 and 3, and that's 3, they're all series, and there are 3 categories in books in series that I have already started and 3 in series that I have not started, and each of them is basically 1 to 3, well, 2 and 3 books because it's a series, otherwise it would be a standalone. So 2 and 3 books in the series, then we have 4 to 10 books in the series, and then 11 plus. The 11 plus, currently I don't really have something already started in there, and so I'm putting these 2 categories kind of together and drawing only from one. I don't know if this makes a lot of sense. It makes sense for me. Anyway, the point is 11 plus books in a series. I am also not going to draw because I am already in the middle of something here. That is the next book. I am reading Brandon Sanderson. This is Mistborn, Era 1. I read books 1 and 2. And so this. Now, I know this is a trilogy. It is in the 11 plus because I am I'm considering the whole Cosmere here as one. So I want to read through the whole thing eventually. At the moment I'm kind of doing one book every 2 months because they are quite big and I have a lot of other stuff to read. So I'll probably continue more or less like this one book every 2 months roughly, and then we'll see when I might draw something else from the 11 plus books. We'll see, but I would have to start a new series then, and that's not really my priority right now. So yeah, this is another one for July. The next category I messed up with drawing a little bit. I think I had a paper in the wrong bag and then I got confused, and so essentially I drew 2 times from the already started series, because I'm excited about these, I decided that I'll just go with it. So the first one I drew was the Robert Langdon series. That's Dan Brown. And I have read books 1 through 3. Apparently, I don't remember everything from these books, especially number 3, I think. But I don't think you have to, like, they can be read as standalones as far as I know. So the plan is Inferno for July, and then we have Origin for August. And fun fact, I learned when I made my notes in my Excel spreadsheet, I found out that there is actually a 6th book in the series coming out in September, which is quite perfect. So I will, July, August, and then September, I'll just read the new one, and then I'm caught up again. Next one, the second one in the 4 to 10 book series that I've already started, what I drew twice. That's the Long Earth series by Terry Pratchett and Stephen Baxter. I bought book 3 at an airport, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. I didn't realize it was book 3, like in the middle of a series. I remember reading it, I remember being confused. I still liked it, and then afterwards I found out, well, no wonder I was confused, because I missed some part of the story. So, but because I still liked it, I bought the other books. So this is a 5-book series. I am going to read this in July, and then 1 book per month. I'll probably reread book number 3 because I don't remember everything, and I hope the whole thing then makes more sense with a reread of that. But that's 5 months until I'm gonna redraw from this category. Next up, we have 4 to 10 books, a series that I have not yet started, and I drew. This one here was on I think on a blue paper. It's a historical thriller mystery kind of thing. I have since found out that this is book 3 in a 4-book series. I am not sure. It looks like from the description that probably you shouldn't read just a book in the middle here. So I checked online, and they are, so these are this is a German author. It's Michael Pankhofer, Amor des Sticks. The series is Kincaid, Sarah Kincaid. That's the main character here. So I checked online, and I have all of these books are available on Kindle Unlimited. So I will start with book number 1 from there, read it, see how I like it, and then decide if I want to continue in the series or not. To the last 2 categories, these are my duologies and trilogies. And for the already started ones, I drew Monstrous Nights, or the series is called A Witch's Companion for Monsters, something like that. First book is Foul Days, by Genoveva Dimova. And I loved book 1. It's a witchy, it's fantasy with magic. It's inspired by Eastern European folklore with lots of different monsters, and yeah, I thought it was very, very unique, and I really liked it. I think I gave the first book even 5 stars. I also read the prequel novella, very short, sweet, liked it. And so now this is book 2 and the finale. For this, I already started a little bit, and I like it so far. And so the last one is starting a duology or trilogy, and I was very excited that I drew the first Law trilogy here. This is one of the very few that I note it down, even if I don't own the physical copy. So I only have them in a digital, so the audiobook version. There are so many people who absolutely love this, and I've never read Joe Abercrombie, so I'm very excited to start the first law. That was actually already something that I have mentioned in my January videos. So apart from the drawings, I'm also in the middle of 3 or 4 other books. Sometimes I started reading something and I'm not really in the mood, but I don't really want to DNF it, so I'll just leave it for a little while. I'm glad I usually remember enough of what I already read to still continue a couple of months later. So for July, I really, really want to finish Immortal Longings. It's for some reason, I mean, I like it so far, but for some reason it just takes me a really long time to get through. So I think I'm about in the middle of it, but I really want this finished now, so I'm gonna make an effort to hopefully finish this in July as well. Maybe I'll also get to 1 or 2 of the other already started, but we'll see. I think this is enough. Let me show you the pile. So this is my pile for July TBR plus Dungeon Crawler Carl plus First Law and Immortal Longings. So I think that's enough. If I read as much as I did last month, I will get through this, but yeah, it's not a small pile, so we'll see. But I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think it's a really good mix of things that I know I will like and things that, yeah, I'll I'll see. Worst case, I'll have more shelf space, which I'm always in dire need. So we'll see. Let me know what you are reading for July. Happy reading and see you next time. Bye.